I'm the Peak Agenda Pusher. My takes are never hot, they're always correct. My fans, they've got a lot of hot takes. Let's check out what your hot takes are. Alucard wipes a lot of these favorite anime verses. It's a medium take. It's a medium take. Depends on the verse. So when you say a lot, that doesn't imply all. So actually, this is actually just a cold take. Yogiri is the strongest character in fiction. That's not a hot take. There's a very solid debate for that. I would hear you out if you were to make that case. I don't think he's the strongest character in fiction. I think he's one of the strongest characters in fiction. Sukuna and Gojo clear Modulo Yuji low diff. Super hot take. No. Modulo Yuji could definitely kill both of them individually. At the current point, probably yes, they probably beat him together, like if they're both fighting him. But let's talk about 100 years from now, because, Yuji is immortal. Would they still win then? Probably not. Anime fans that can't read sub and watch dub are mentally inferior. That's a shit take. You can't read Japanese or speak Japanese. Download Dr. Moku, get Anki on your computer, and learn hiragana and katakana, then learn the Core 2000. Once you can read it, you understand it a little bit, then watch in Japanese and tell me that that's better than sub. Because once you can actually understand how they're talking, it's like super performative. It's like theater speech. It's not like what you think it is. You think it's like super emotional, but if you could actually understand the language, you would know that it's like theatrical type language, and you'd probably actually prefer to hear it in dub after that. So that is a hot take, and not even a hot take, just a bad take. I personally watch it in Japanese subbed because that's how I prefer it, and I want to be better at Japanese, so it helps. But dub is also great, so there shouldn't be a dub sub war. Goku is an overpowered MC in terms of scaling. No. Regular planetary multiversal type character, like in that Shallant. There's like thousands of characters stronger than him in fiction, in anime, so I don't think he could be considered overpowered. Impel down to Marineford was the best arcs in the big three. No. And he says he's Caden. Hi, Caden. Those are definitely not the best arcs in the big three. Enies Lobby is one of the best arcs in the big three for sure. But if you're going to say that those are the best arcs in the big three and not talk about stuff like the tuning exams, not talk about stuff like Rukia Retrieval, come on. Goku versus Jiren is overrated. That's not ridiculous to say that. That's not ridiculous to say that. Is it great? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's greatness. Culturally significant. Overrated is a fair take. I'll agree with that. Itachi wasn't a good brother. Sasuke had every right to be a villain. Not a hot take. 100% agree. Moving on. Saiyan Saga Goku and Vegeta greater than Baryon Mode Naruto and Gear 5 Luffy. That's not ridiculous to say that. That's not ridiculous to say that. I don't even think that's a hot take, Twin. JJK is better than Naruto. Here's the question. What level is like your reading comprehension? Because if you're saying you like it more, fair. Absolutely subjective. But to say that JJK writing-wise is objectively better than Naruto, no, they're pretty much equal. They're pretty much equal. Naruto original is filled with plot holes and like shonen slop writing, and JJK is filled with rushed dopamine writing, mid-tier writing. So yeah, they're definitely like pretty equal. Black Frieza is stupid. He trained 4 months to get to SSB level in 10 years. Nah, he got drip on though. I got to disagree just because that's drip. Like the fit is hard. So like fuck everything else, right? Dragon Ball, they don't even care about the plot. So like fuck everything else. It's about aura and power. Pre-Roshi training Kid Goku would solo the AOT verse. That's not even crazy to say that. That's not a hot take at all. Not really a hot take, but Shinra solos the Dragon Ball verse, argue with your mama. That's not crazy at all to say that. He does. If you can rewrite the entire reality down to the story, down to creating gods, new cosmology, new laws, new physics, yeah, like what are we even talking about here? Even Zeno is not like narrative like that level. Like we know this because Zeno exists in a time stream. That's why we see multiple Zenos at the same time. So like yeah, Shinra definitely slams the whole verse. Mushiko Tensei is one of the best isekai anime, and the MC is a creep that makes his redemption unique. Crazy hot take. I'm not even putting it top 5. Deku slams the JJK and Demon Slayer verse by himself with Bakugo and Todoroki? Yeah. Is that controversial? I don't think that's controversial. Demon Slayer is a verse filled with regular people that swing swords. Take Deku Season 3, clearing the verse. Fairy Tail characters have massive potential and people don't see that. Did somebody say potential? Wait, Goku doesn't have absurd plot armor, just as much as any main character. Yeah, that's not a hot take. I don't agree. I think plot armor is the stupidest thing ever spoken to when it comes to fiction. Plot is literally the only thing that matters. That's like getting in a car crash and then being like, bro, you lived because of plot armor. This was the story. This is what's happening. Like, what do you mean plot armor? Plot is literally the only thing that matters. So many characters should have died or stayed dead in Naruto. Guy, Kakashi, Shino, etc. That's not ridiculous to say that. Guy should have stayed dead. The whole Ninja Jesus thing was crazy. Sukuna Solo's Demon Slayer. That's not controversial at all, gang. Sword Art Online was a good anime, but the light novels are way better. Also, not controversial at all, twin. If Boruto continues, they will reanimate Jiraiya for the hell of it. Totally not going to happen. Yeah, I don't even see a fraction of that happening. That's definitely a super hot take. Kishimoto's writing has gotten so much better, especially in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, than it ever was back in Naruto and Naruto Shippuden. I don't think he'd make a ridiculous mistake like that. The second half of Death Note is actually unironically good. I mean, I guess it's not bad. It's just okay. Ichigo versus every new gen anime? Well, I hate to tell you this, twin, but he's not soloing every new gen anime. Demon Slayer, like all these JJK, obviously, right? Is he soloing Fire Force? No. Big Three fans clown a lot on new gen anime, like Demon Slayer, JJK, Solo Leveling, and it's undeserved hate. That is correct. I grew up in the generation of the Big Three. I was a kid when the Big Three was coming out. I was watching all of them as they came out, except for One Piece. I eventually dropped it, switched to reading only. But yeah, I can now objectively, because I've continued to consume anime media all this time, like their writing is objectively better. It's like saying Michael Jordan is better than LeBron. Jordan was playing against plumbers and electricians. That's why he was so dominant, right? That's why the Big Three was so dominant. It's from the era of plumbers and electricians. Shonen Slop, the era of Shonen Slop. And I love it for nostalgia, but New Gen is objectively better. Ichigo is stronger, but Naruto beats him in a 1v1. Crazy hot take. We're not even gonna consider that. Dragon Ball is a weak verse carried by dumb statements. I want to know what Dragon Ball you watched to call it weak. In hindsight, Talk no Jutsu was the worst story building gimmick to come out of the Big Three. Yeah, that's very wrong. The worst story building gimmick being Talk no Jutsu. You're saying that Luffy being handed a random piece of food from a random stranger is somehow not equally as dumb as a gimmick as Naruto being able to give speeches to villains and convince them to not do terrible things. All three of them have gimmicks that are equally as shit. The AOT ending was mid. Hard disagree. It was okay, which is a little better than mid. I think the writing of Attack on Titan is objectively good overall, and if you disliked the ending and you use that as a reason to dislike the whole story, you have bad taste. Like, yeah, the ending wasn't perfect. I wish it was a little darker. Like, I wish that everyone died and Eren died, or like that Eren died and the elegant. Like, it needed to be worse. I didn't want a happy ending, but I didn't want this like weird limbo ending that they gave us. A Rasen Shuriken ends Luffy canonically, and Naruto can spam them for days. Like, canonically, a Rasen Shuriken could kill Luffy. That's not incorrect, but you're implying that Luffy would just stand still and get hit by them and like not use Future Sight. I don't necessarily agree with that take. Do I agree that Naruto beats Luffy? Yes. Do I agree that it's easy? Absolutely not. Z Broly one tap Saitama and Garu, no difficulty if you know ball. One tap? Definitely not. Wins? Probably. Yeah. Jinwoo slams any version of Goku. True, yes, current Jinwoo does slam any version of Goku. If you're not including Ragnarok and you're taking about Solo Leveling original, absolutely not. Sanji fight was better than Zoro's in Wano. So I never watched it. I'm not there yet, but I did read it, and reading it is not a good comparison. I liked them equally. The fan service doesn't ruin Fire Force. People need to get over it. You're a weirdo. Look at the camera. You're a weirdo. She's a minor. The character that gets fan serviced is a minor. Lock this brother up. Steins Gate is top 3? Yeah, that's super hot take. Top 5? Top 10? I see arguments for those. Top 3? Nostalgia clouds judgment. Facts. You're speaking the truth. Strategy is greater than raw strength. You know ball. Code Geass is a top 3 ending of all time. Yeah, that's not a hot take. You are speaking facts. You know ball. I'd like to have you on my podcast. Cowboy Bebop is mid and most episodes feel like filler. That's a really hot take. Yeah, that's a really hot take. Cowboy Bebop is definitely one of those ones that's definitely like just not for everyone. But saying that it's like filler, I can't get behind that. Gundam is the grandfather of most modern mecha. That's not even remotely a hot take, Twin. You are speaking the truth. All right, those were all of the Instagram hot takes. Let's slide over to Discord now. By the way, if you want to be in any of these videos, you want your hot takes in these videos, you want to be involved in any of future filming, follow me on Twitch. Come to the lives. Join the Discord. If you join the Discord, I see your suggestions. I interact with people on a regular basis. There's like 200 people in there. I talk to them regularly. Some days I'm more active than others. But yeah, hop in. Become part of the videos. Undead Unluck is the best current new gen animanga, and it ain't closed. Absurdly hot take. I hard disagree. Best new gen manga? I mean, come on. Boruto 2 Blue Vortex exists. No, I'm just playing. Dan is written fantastically, though. Bowser is the greatest video game villain. That's not ridiculous to say that. Ganondorf close second. Dragon Ball has no real stakes. JJK has the most motion currently. Dragon Ball definitely has stakes. Yeah, they're not great stakes. JJK definitely has the most motion of the new gen currently. I'm not going to disagree with that. JJK is a copy of Naruto? Definitely not. JJK is clearly inspired by both Naruto and Bleach by like a lot. So you could call it a Bleach copy or Naruto copy, but the story is pretty distinctly different, so I'm not going to get behind that. Dragon Ball shouldn't be respected in the anime community. Tell that to Japan's economy. It would collapse without it. I'm going to end it with my boy Sif, top mod. Sif, we love you. Solo Leveling deserved Anime of the Year, and it wasn't even close. Absolutely. Solo Leveling did deserve Anime of the Year. It earned that shit, and it did a phenomenal job. And not every anime needs to be some deep thing that you need to think a lot about. Some anime can just be enjoyed for a simple story. That's why Demon Slayer is liked, and that's why Solo Leveling is liked. All right, this has been your anime hot takes. If you guys want to leave more hot takes and see if I agree or disagree with them, subscribe, comment below, and let me know. Join the Discord. Love you guys. Bye.